This event was brought to you by VIP, our Violence Intervention Program on campus that coordinates outreach and on-campus educational programming for issues related to sexual and intimate partner violence. If you would like to learn more about this program, please visit our website, and we hope you enjoy the show. Because He Liked to Look at It by Gracie Batas.
This is how I came to love my vagina. It's embarrassing because it's not politically correct. I mean, I know it should have happened in a bath with salt grains from the Dead Sea, Enya playing in the background, me loving my womanly self. I know the story. Vaginas are beautiful. Our self-hatred is the only internalized repression and hatred of the patriarchal culture. It isn't real. Pussies unite. I know all of it. Like, if we'd grown up in a culture where we were taught fat thighs were beautiful, we'd all be pounding milkshakes and Krispy Kremes lying on our backs, spending our days thigh expanding. But we didn't grow up in that culture. I hated my thighs. I hated my vagina. I mean, it was incredibly ugly. I was one of those women who had looked down, and from the moment on, I wish I hadn't. It made me sick. I pitied anyone who had to go down there. In order to survive, I began to pretend that there was something else between my legs. I imagined furniture, cozy futons, light cotton comforters, velvet sets, leopard rugs, pretty things, silk handkerchiefs, quilted pot holders, or place settings. I got so accustomed to this, I lost all sight and all memory of having a vagina. Whenever a man was inside me, I pictured him inside a mink-lined muffler or a Chinese bowl. Then I met Bob. Bob was the most ordinary man I ever met. He was thin and tall and nondescript and wore khaki tan clothes. Bob did not like spicy foods or listen to Prince. He had no interest in sexy lingerie. In the summer, he spent time in the shade. He did not share his inner feelings. He didn't have any problems or issues, and was not even an alcoholic. He wasn't very funny or articulate or mysterious. He wasn't mean or unavailable. He wasn't self-involved or charismatic. He didn't drive fast. I didn't particularly like Bob. I would have missed him altogether if he hadn't picked up my change that I had dropped on the deli floor. When he handed me back my quarters and pennies and his hand accidentally touched mine, something happened. I went to bed with him. That's when the miracle occurred. Turned out Bob loved vaginas. He was a connoisseur. He loved the way they felt, the way they tasted, the way they smelled, but most importantly, he loved the way they looked. He had to look at them. The first time he had sex, he told me he had to see me. I'm right here, I said. No, you, he said. I have to see you. Turn on the light, I said, thinking he was a weirdo and freaking me out in the dark. He turned on the light. Okay, he said. Okay, I'm ready to see you. Right here, I waved. Right here. Then he began to undress me. What are you doing, Bob? And I said, I need to see you, he replied. No need, I said. Just do it. I need to see what you look like, he said. But you've seen the red leather couch before, I said. He continued. He wouldn't stop. Wanted to throw up and die. This is awfully intimate, I said. Can't you just do it? No, he said. It's who you are. I need to look. I held my breath. He looked and looked. He got breathy and his face changed. He didn't look ordinary anymore. He looked like a hungry beast. You're so beautiful, he said. You're elegant and deep and wild and innocent. You saw that there, I said. It was like he read my palm. I saw that, he said, and more, much, much more. He stayed looking for almost an hour, as if he were studying a map, observing the moon, staring into my eyes. But it was my vagina. In the light, I watched him looking at me, and he was so genuinely excited, so peaceful and euphoric. I began to get wet and turned on. I began to see myself the way he saw me. I began to feel beautiful and delicious, like a great painting or a waterfall. Bob wasn't afraid. He wasn't grossed out. I began to swell, began to feel proud, began to love my vagina, and Bob lost himself there, and I was there with him in my vagina, and we were gone.
Not So Happy Fact by Vanessa Garcia.
This is a not so happy fact found in UNICEF's 2013 report, Female Genital Mutilation and Cutting, a statistical overview and exploration of the dynamics of change. Female genital mutilation has been inflicted on approximately 200 million girls and young women. In the 30 countries where it is practiced, mostly in Africa, about 30 million young girls within the next decade are at risk the knife or razor or a glass shard to cut their clitoris or remove it altogether. In half of the countries, the majority of girls were cut before the age of 5. In the rest of the countries, most cutting occurs between 5 and 14 years of age. As many as the 30 million girls are at risk of being cut over the next decade if current trends persist. In a man, it would range from amputation of most of the penis to removal of all of the penis. Short-term results include tetanus, hemorrhages, cuts in the urethra, bladder, and vaginal walls. Long-term chronic uterine infection, increased agony and danger during childbirth and early death. However, overall, it is on the decline with the percentage of girls ages 15 to 19 who have been cut declining from 51% in 1985 to 37% today.
My Angry Vagina by Sky Molina.
My vagina's angry. It is. It's pissed off. My vagina's furious and it needs to talk. It needs to talk about this shit. It needs to talk to you. I mean, what's the deal? An army of people out there thinking up of ways to torture my poor ass, gentle, loving vagina, spending their days constructing psycho products and nasty ideas to undermine my pussy? Vagina, motherfuckers. All the shit they're constantly trying to shove up us, clean us up, stuff us up, make it go away. Well, my vagina is not going away. It's pissed off and it's staying right here. Like tampons, what the hell is that? A wad of dry fucking cotton stuffed up there. Why can't they find a way to subtly lubricate the tampon? As soon as my vagina sees it, it goes into shock. It says, forget it. It closes up. You need to work with the vagina, introduce it to things, prepare the way. That's what foreplay is all about. You got to convince my vagina, seduce my vagina, engage my vagina's trust. You can't do that with the dry wad of fucking cotton. Stop shoving things up me. Stop shoving. Stop cleaning it up. My vagina doesn't need to be cleaned up. It smells good already. Don't try to decorate. Don't believe them when he tells you it smells like rose petals when it's supposed to smell like pussy. That's what they're doing. Trying to clean it up. Make it smell like bathroom spray or garden. All those douche sprays, floral, berry, rain. I don't want my pussy to smell like rain. All cleaned up like washing a fish after you cooked it. I want to taste the fish. That's why I ordered it. Then there's those exams. Who thought them up? There's got to be a better way to do those exams. Why the scary paper dress that scratches your titties and scrunches when you lie down? So you feel like, what, a wad of paper someone just threw away? Why the rubber gloves? Why the flashlight all up in there? Like Nancy Drew, working against gravity. Why the Nazis steel stirrups? The mean cold ducks they shove inside of you? What's that? My vagina's angry about those visits. It gets defended weeks in advance. You won't go out the house. And then you get there. Don't you hate that? Scoot down. Relax your vagina. Why? So you can shove mean cold duck lips inside of it? I don't think so. I don't. Why can't they just find some nice, delicious purple velvet and wrap it around me? Lay me down on some feathery cotton spread. Put on some nice, friendly pink or blue gloves and rest my feet in some fur-covered stirrups. Warm up the duck lips. Work with my vagina. No more tortures, dry wad of fucking cotton, cold duck lips, and thong underwear. That's the worst. Thong underwear? Who thought that up? It moves around all the time. It gets stuck in the back of your crusty butt. Vagina's supposed to be loose and wide, not held together. That's why girdles are so bad. We need to move and spread and talk and talk. Vaginas need comfort. Make something like that, something to give them pleasure. But no, of course, they won't do that. Hate to see a woman having pleasure, particularly sexual pleasure. I mean, make a nice pair of soft cotton underwear with the French tickler built in. Women would be coming all day long, coming in the supermarket, coming on the subway, coming happy vaginas. They wouldn't be able to stand it though. Seeing all those energized, not taking shit, hot, happy vaginas. If my vagina could talk, it would talk about itself like me. It would talk about other vaginas. It would do vagina impressions. It would wear hairy wing sting diamonds. No clothing. Just there draped in diamonds. My vagina help release a giant baby. It thought it would do more of that. It's not. Now it wants to travel. Doesn't want a lot of company. It wants to read and know things and get out more. It wants sex. It loves sex. It wants to go deeper. It's hungry for depth. It wants kindness. And it wants change. It wants silence and freedom. Gentle kisses and warm liquids and deep touch. It wants chocolate. It wants to scream. It wants to stop being angry. It wants to come. It wants to want. It wants my vagina. My vagina. Well, it wants everything.
My Vagina Was My Village by Paola Castellanos Martinez. This piece is for the women of Bosnia.
My vagina was a village. My vagina was green, water soft, pink fields, cow mooing, sun resting, sweet boyfriend touching lightly with a soft piece of blunt straw. Now there is nothing between my legs. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it is. I do not touch. Not now, not anymore, not since. My vagina was chatty, can't wait. So much saying words, talking, can't quit talking, can't quit saying, oh yes, oh yes. Not since I dreamed a dead animal soon sewn in down there with thick black fishing line, and a dead animal smell that could not be removed. And its throat was slit, and it bleeds throughout all my summer dresses. My vagina was singing all girl songs, a goat bell ringing songs, a wild autumn field songs, vagina home songs. Not since the soldiers put a long, thick rifle inside me, so cold. The steel rod canceling my brain part. I don't know where they're going to fire it or shove it down through my spinning brain. 6 of them, monstrous doctors with black masks, shoving bottles up me too. There were sticks at the end of the broom. My vagina swimming water river, clean spilling water over sun-baked stones, over stone clit stones over and over. Not since I heard the terror of skin and made lemon screeching sounds. Not since a piece of my vagina came off my hand, a part of my lip. Now one side of my lip is completely gone. My vagina, a live water village. My vagina, my hometown. Not since they took turns for several days, smelling like feces and cold stone meats. They left their dirty sperm inside me. I became a river of poison and puss, and all my crops died, and the fish. My vagina, a live water wet village. They invaded it. They butchered it and they burned it down. I do not touch now. I do not visit. I live somewhere else now, and I don't know where that is.
My Short Skirt, Vanessa Garcia.
My short skirt is not an invitation, provocation, an indication that I want or give it or that I hook. My short skirt is not begging for it. It does not want you to rip it off me or pull it down. My short skirt is not a legal reason for raping me, although it has been before. It would not hold up in the new court. My short skirt, believe it or not, has nothing to do with you. My short skirt is about discovering the power of my lower calves, about cool autumn air traveling up my inner thighs, about allowing everything I see or pass or feel inside. My short skirt is not proof that I am stupid or undecided or a malleable little girl. My short skirt is my defiance. I will not let you make me afraid. My short skirt is not showing off. This is who I am. Before you made me cover it or tone it down, get used to it. My short skirt is happiness. I can feel myself on the ground. I am here. I am hot. My short skirt is a liberation flag. In the women's army, I declare these streets. Any streets, my vagina's country. My short skirt is a turquoise water with swimming colored fish. A summer festival in the starry dark, a bird calling a train, arriving in a foreign town. My short skirt is a wild spin of full breath. A tango dip in my short skirt is initiation, appreciation, excitation. But mainly, my short skirt and everything under it is mine. Mine, mine.
Reclaiming Cunt, Sky Molina.
I call it cunt. I've reclaimed it. Cunt. I really like it. Cunt. Listen to it. Cunt. K. K. Cavern. Cackle. Clit. Cute. Come closed. K closed inside. Inside. K. Then then K. Then curvy. Inviting shark skin, uniform, under, up, urge, ugh, then, then, cun. Snug letters fitting perfectly together, nest, now, nexus, nice, nice, always depth, always soft and warm, cun, then, then, sharp, certain, tangy texture, take, tent, tight, tantalizing, tensing, taste, tendrils, time, tactile, tell me, cunt, say it, tell me, cunt.
6-year-old girl Gracie Batas.
A 6-year-old girl was asked, if your vagina got dressed, what would it wear? Red high tops and a Mets cap worn backwards. If it could speak, what would it say? It would say words that began with V and T. Turtle and violin are examples. What does your vagina remind you of? A pretty dark peach or a diamond I found from a treasure in its mine? What's special about your vagina? Somewhere deep inside, it has a really, really smart brain. What does it smell like? Snowflakes.
I was there in the room, Professor Irma Valdivia.
I was there in the room when her vagina opened. We were all there, her mother, her husband and I, and the nurse from the Ukraine with her whole hand up there in her vagina, feeling and turning with her rubber glove as she talked casually to us, like she was turning on a loaded faucet. I was there in the room when the contractions made her crawl on all fours made unfamiliar moans leaking out of her pores, and still there after hours, when she just screamed, suddenly wild, her arms striking at the electric air. I was there when her vagina changed from a shy sexual hole to an archaeological tunnel, a sacred vessel, a Venetian canal, a deep well, the tiny stuck child inside, waiting to be rescued. I saw the colors of her vagina. They changed. Saw the bruised, broken blue, the blistering tomato red, the gray pink, the dark. Saw the blood like perspiration along the edges. Saw the yellow white liquid, the shit, the clots pushing out all the holes, pushing harder and harder. Saw through the hole and the baby's head, scratches of black hair. Saw it just there behind the bone, a hard, round memory, as the nurse from the Ukraine kept turning and turning her slippery hand. I was there when each of us, her mother and I, held a leg and spread her wide, pushing with all our strength against her pushing, and her husband sternly counting 1, 2, 3, telling her to focus harder. We looked into her then. We couldn't get our eyes out of that place. We forget the vagina, all of us. What else would explain our lack of awe, our lack of reverence? I was there when the doctor reached in with Alice in Wonderland spoons, and there as her vagina became a wide, operatic mouth, singing with all its strength. First the little head, then the gray flopping arm, then the fast swimming body, swimming quickly into our weeping arms. I was there later, when I just turned and faced her vagina. I stood and let myself see her all spread, completely exposed, mutilated, swollen and torn, bleeding all over the doctor's hands, who was calmly sewing her there. I stood, and her vagina suddenly became a wide, red, pulsing heart. The heart is capable of sacrifice. So is the vagina. The heart is able to forgive and repair. It can change its shape to let us in. It can expand to let us out. So can the vagina. It can ache for us and stretch for us, die for us and bleed us into this difficult, wondrous world. I was there in the room, and I remember.
This is the end of our show. Many thanks to our cast and our violence intervention program here at Rio Hondo College.